Hi, it's Phil here from Advanced Technical Services. In this short video, we're going to show you how to set up the initial settings, naming the data logger, setting some custom colors, set the default scale, and setting up the ribbon. So let's get started. Cool. So the first thing you want to do is have Madgetech open, and we want to put a device into the Cradle. So it's showing up here, and as default from the factory, it is called multi-channel. But it's really useful if we rename the device with what it's actually going to do. So in this case, if we come to properties, so I'll just right click and then go to properties, and up here we've got device ID. So this is where we can give it a name. So in our case, we're just going to call it back because that's the location in the chamber that we use. So we're going to apply that, and now that's going to write that to the logger. So this is stored actually in the data logger itself, not in the software. Cool, so that's the first thing that we want to do. So we can just push the X to close out of here. The next thing up here, we've got this ribbon bar up here, and we've got a lot of information here. So what we can do is click on one of these and right click and just turn off the things we don't need. So if we're not using any cloud features, we can turn the cloud off. Down here, the actual last time zone is started. I don't think we need that. That's just adding clutter. Signal strength, because we're not using the wireless on these data loggers, and that, and probably for our clients, the revision number can probably be turned off, and that gets rid of all of the excess clutter that we have up here. We can always turn them back on. Now, the other thing that I've found actually quite useful is turning the port number on. So this tells me that this logger is in position 3 on the actual cradle. So if I move it to position 1, it's in here. So I can now sort this order based on that. So I find that quite useful. Cool. So the next thing I want to do is come up to File, and we want to come down here to Options. Okay, so if we come to Units, and we can now set some preferences, and this is in the software, not on the device. So if we want a custom color, so on here we want to display all our things in degrees Celsius, and when I bring my graphs in, I want to start off with the same scale. So I'm going to bring them in with a minimum of 0 and a maximum of 140, and I'm going to apply the scale when it downloads it. Okay, so under here, under preference, I can set what my preference is going to be. The default color is grey, but I find a green or a brighter color makes it easier to distinguish on the graphs. And what I do is, these are the settings that I have as default. So we can, and this is, all the temperatures will come in at this color, and I'm going to set that to red because that's one of the colors that we use in our reports. And then we go OK. Cool. And we've done the ribbon bar, and that should be enough to get you up and running. Thank you for your time.